episode 3! Episode 3 of Previously on Arrow Video, and this episode is a bit of a cheat one because this is not actually on the Arrow Video player. It's not on it in November when I'm recording this, and it's probably not on it in January when you're watching it, but you can pick this one up on 4K, and it's Brian De Palma, so if you can find a copy of it, I would recommend it. Which actually makes you probably wonder why I've listened to the rest of this video. Well, you have to listen to the rest of this video because it's me doing it, and you want to listen to me talk about Brian De Palma movies, because Brian De Palma is one of my favourite directors. Anyway, Obsession is not the best Brian De Palma movie. Now, obviously, that's something you probably already knew, because his best movies are the ones which are shouted out across the stars, and in my case, I actually think Blowout is his best movie, and Obsession is not his best movie. The problem I find with this movie is not as bad because it's not, because even lesser De Palma is still fantastic. No, the thing about this movie is it's not a horror movie. Now, not all Brian De Palma movies are horror movies. Scarface obviously isn't a horror movie despite having horror movie elements. It's a crime movie. But I would say his best movies are horror movies. Whether it's something like Carrie, or something like Pieces, what I'm talking about, Pieces, or something like Blowout, or even Sisters. He's very good horror movies. Now, this is a horror movie, sort of. It's a psychological horror movie, which is very Hitchcockian, which of course it is, because it's very, very similar to Vertigo in tone, and in fact, at points it seems like Brian De Palma thought, hey, I can redo Vertigo and do it in a modern setting, obviously in the 70s, and with Cliff Robertson and John Lithgow, and I can do it and it'll be great. And Brian De Palma added his numerous touches onto it, which is why this movie is really weird, and why there's a breathtakingly bizarre incest subtext to it, which apparently at one point wasn't even subtext, it was just text, but the studio got cold feet about it, and they're like, you can't have that in the movie. And sorry, I'm spoiling shit out of the movie, whatever. But that's De Palma for you. De Palma is a weird cat, and he makes interesting movies, although the problem I find for this is that, because it's psychological horror, how I'll phrase this, Cliff Robertson, I won't say he's bad in this, because he's not, but what I will say is he is fighting the material in ways that John Lithgow and female lead, sorry, I can't remember her name, are not fighting material. He is fighting every step of the way. He delivers a very mannered, measured performance, but it means that you don't really get much out of him, and he's the main character, so you spend all of your time with him, and he isn't really giving us. It's very much like De Niro in Heat, but De Niro in Heat was playing. He was half moving, Al Pacino's half movie, so you got the quiet and subdued, and then got manic and over the top. But in this movie, you just get quiet and subdued, and De Palma, not that his performances are necessarily always hammy, but he does venture. His movies do work best when there's slightly weird quality to performance, and that is not here in Cliff Robertson's acting at all. And also the fact that it's, because it's so clearly an attempt to make a Hitchcockian movie, there's elements which are really, really good, and there's a couple of trademark awesome one-take De Palma sequences, those long shots, and those cool party scenes and stuff like that, but I don't know, it feels slightly sarcastic, to be honest. Like, De Palma's like, I mean, I read about De Palma, that he wasn't necessarily someone even wanting to make horror movies or psychological horror movies, but it was a way to make his name, and hey, I'm not knocking it at all, because he made some great ones, but this doesn't seem like he particularly gives a shit about the characters or material, and it seems, I won't say lazy's the wrong word, because I don't think any director's lazy. You can't make a movie if you're lazy, but I do think this feels like lesser De Palma, you know, like, this is a guy who is an amazing visual director, and with performances and creating awesome set pieces, but nothing in this movie really rivals the amazing scene in Sisters, where you get like the voyeurism, and you get like the reporter seeing murder and them covering up murder, and she's trying to get police involved, and you get those split screens, and you don't really get that sense here. It seems to be a mix between sarcastic and a sincere attempt to do a Hitchcock style movie, but it doesn't entirely work, but it's still very good. Like, Lesser De Palma is still a very, very good movie, so I would recommend this if you can find it. It's not his best movie, but it's a very good movie.
Yeah.